And one would even say, even the companies which you talk about this rate of change concept, right? I think we can talk about that also, because there is a lot of capital which is being thrown at companies which show high growth. And unfortunately, I feel that is also the reason why a lot of bad actors come into the system, where we've seen so many corporate governance issues being highlighted over the last few weeks, and also I think years. So how does one compensate and balance for that, right? Because it's a very delicate balance. As founders, you have to find opportunity. As investors, you have to find opportunities which have like integrity in place, corporate governance in place. But then on the other side, there's also a lack of investable securities to get yourself into in some ways.
No, well, at one level, the good news is in India, there's a lot of opportunity and there's a lot of assets. It's actually a very broad and diversified market. What's happening is we tend to look at one sector at a time which is doing very well, and then you get FOMO that I'm not participating here. But in every bull or bubble phase, there is also something else which is having a bear phase. And I'll draw the analogy to say the 2000 TMT bubble, where when the TMT bubble bust, it's not like the market died completely, because on the other side, you had all these hard assets and PSUs, which then took off. And you made 20, 30 time returns in a lot of those companies which look boring. Even in the current market, while attention is focused a lot on, the narrative stocks and, the new internet companies have come out as well, it's been dull, boring companies which have also, given you 10 times in the last, 3-4 years. So it's not that if you don't participate somewhere, you won't get it right. B, as you rightly said, this force feeding a child to make him an adult quickly has been the bane of our startup world. And they started with this SoftBank trying to say that if you go and you pick the winner and you overcapitalize it, this child will become an adult overnight. Life is not like that, because even the entrepreneur has to go through that journey of having that experience. It's like a mother has to take 9 months to deliver a baby. You can't, get maybe 9 girls pregnant and get the baby in 1 month. It doesn't happen. And that's what I think they were trying. And SoftBank itself has had its own share of trouble. And I'm just using them as an example, that in this urge to get rich quick, they did something which was against nature. And in that, therefore, you've had these consequences of, it's like with most things in nature, right? That if you kind of take a drug, you're going to bear consequences of that drug. So if you keep that aside and you come back to basics, that what is the character of a person? And I go back to this every time someone asks me to describe how do you pick entrepreneurs, how do you pick people, how do you gel? I go back to an old concept which we had in our Vedic philosophy, but which people kind of denigrated it and made it sound very casteist. It's not about that. They said there are people with different characteristics. There's someone who has a Kshatriya type mentality. It doesn't mean you have to be born, but you have that mentality. That person by nature is a warrior, and that person is an expansionist, and they want to grow the empire. And in that urge to grow the empire, they often fight battles where they might die. But that's the nature of that beast. He can't stop fighting. They can't live if they are not expanding. They can't live if they don't have maybe 2x debt. In that, occasionally you will get a great kind of noble king who's worried about his subjects, and that's what you call Ram Rajya and so on. But they are kings who are just wanting to expand territory for the sake of expanding territory, because I'll be the largest, because they won't realize there is no end to largeness in the world, because it is one world at that spiritual level, right? Then they are the Brahmins who are the most knowledgeable, but they don't have king-like characteristics. So they will go to a certain level, they get their kind of fame, their knowledge is respected, and that's good enough, but he won't scale. So he's the opposite of the Kshatriya. Or then there's the trading community, which is just happy to make a profit opportunity. You may get a PLI scheme sometime, you may get a regulatory arbitrage, and you make that 2-3 years of profit, and you're happy to take that. Like a lot of our startups, when I allude to it, they were actually just doing a regulatory arbitrage and a copying of someone else's model. It's not something unique that you're building out. I mean, no disrespect meant to anyone, but that's the character of what you're doing. So now you imagine if someone has force-fed, one of these merchant types or one of these Brahmin types and said, now you go and behave like a king. He can't do it. If someone had told me, go and build an empire like Adani, Ambani, it's not my nature. I can't do it. You can give me all the capital. I may even have the managerial wherewithal to put the resources, lead a team, mentor them, and all of that. But
Yeah.
if it's not there in the pit of my stomach that I want to go and build this, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think that disconnect is where you often find that these companies are going wrong. So in that eagerness to say, how come his kingdom is bigger than mine, you end up doing stupid things.
Yeah.
And occasionally you get these rare characters who's like a Brahmin with sort of Kshatriya traits, or a Kshatriya with a Brahminical trait, or a merchant guy with a little more sort of Brahminical kind of thinking. And those companies become tremendous wealth creators for extended periods of time. And that's really what you look for.